Opportunity Knocks by nikkiRA. Chapter 4. Nico lets out a string of curses that would have offended Ares and smashes the shit out of his cabin. It will go back to normal tomorrow anyway. He can do whatever the fuck he wants with no consequences. He could flip off Chiron, could kiss Will again. Fuck, he could even kiss Percy if he were still so inclined. He sits down on his bed and buries his head in his hands. In a little while, Jason will knock on his door, and he will say, "Sup, dude?" Then they will go down to breakfast, and Percy will ask to be on their team, and then he will have to play capture the flag. Again. Fuck that. "Darling?" Persephone drawls when she looks up and sees Nico. "Your son is here." Hades sighs and wipes his hands on a napkin, brushing away a plate of food. Persephone excuses herself. "I was expecting you, Nico. What day is it now? The 4th? Nico sits down across from his father. "You know?" "Of course. The same people have died 4 days in a row. Aphrodite has no idea the problem she has created. She treats the world like a plaything." Hades shakes his head in disgust. "Then you can't stop it?" He surveys the sun. "I have no control here. I imagine I am the only one who is even aware." Persephone has not noticed. Truly, I do not understand where she gets the power. "Curious is helping." Hades scoffs. "Of course. But what is more powerful than opportunity?" He shakes his head. "You won't be safe here." There's no way she'll come into your domain." "No, but Aphrodite is not the one who brings you back. It is a magic I do not understand, and a magic you cannot hide from." Nico swears. "So what am I supposed to do?" "Aphrodite did this for a reason. I don't claim to be an expert on love, Nico. Something happened on the original day that prompted her to interfere. That's where the solution to this lies. That's all the advice I have. But please, I am begging you, fix this soon." At Nico's questioning look, Hades sighs. "It is Persephone's turn to pick the movie. If I have to watch Steel Magnolias one more time, I am not sure what I will do." Nico can't help but laugh a little bit at that, although Hades looks significantly less amused. "Stay if you like, Nico. Watch Steel Magnolias even. But the Underworld will not protect you." Nico does not stay for Steel Magnolias, although he does stay in the Underworld. Despite what his father says, he's still going to see how far Aphrodite can go. It is disconcerting being in the Underworld with no sun to watch. He debates going to see Cerberus. Maybe he could even find Mrs. O'Leary, but knowing that they wouldn't remember it tomorrow makes him reluctant to do so. Plus, there's always a chance, by going to see Cerberus, that he could see Minos, and that is a can of worms he just does not wish to open. He thinks about Bianca. He wonders where she is. He isn't surprised she chose rebirth. She probably would have wanted to experience more of life. He fiddles with his ring. He wonders if she's happy, wherever she is, whoever she is. It is strange to think that she's out there somewhere, a different name, a different body, but the same soul. A soul that doesn't remember him. He wonders what she's done today that keeps getting repeated. Eventually, he drifts off. His bedroom in the Underworld is pretty bare, but the bed is comfortable. He drifts off to the muffled noise of his father and Persephone bickering. "Of all the movies in the world, why do you want to watch Steel Magnolias? It's a good movie and it's my choice. If you don't like it, you shouldn't have made that rule." And he wakes up in his cabin, light flickering through the curtains, all of the things that he had thrown around in his anger back in place. Nico swears for a straight minute. Then he kicks his bed. Then he sits down on his bed, buries his head in his hands, and tries not to cry in frustration. He fails, although he doesn't really think he can be blamed. He vaguely hears Jason knock on the door, but he thinks if he has to hear him say, "Sup, dude," one more time, he might find out what happens if he kills himself. After a few moments, Jason tentatively enters the cabin. He looks surprised at the sight of Nico, who is wiping away tears as Jason comes in. "What's wrong? You okay?" It is barely 9 in the morning. He might as well tell him. Maybe Jason will be able to help. His first instinct is still to keep everything to himself, but he's out of ideas, and Jason is his best friend. There's only so much you can do by yourself. I have been living the same day over for about 4 or 5 days now. It is a testament to life as a demigod that Jason does not seem to find anything particularly odd about that statement. What do you mean? Nico sighs, aware that the beginning of the story is going to make Jason very angry. I was planning on running away from camp. Sure enough, Jason's face hardens. When were you planning on doing this? Jason's voice is filled with hurt and betrayal, and Nico finds himself looking forward to tomorrow, when he won't have told Jason anything. 4 days ago, this morning. Jason narrows his eyes. And why? Some stupid reason, I assume. He resists the urge to snap back at Jason. He has every right to be upset, he thinks to himself. I tried to kiss Will, and he rejected me. And we've had this conversation before. Jason's face, which had been glaring at him, softens. Nico would rather have the glare. What? When? Nico sighs again. Such an unnecessarily complicated question to answer. 4 days ago, this evening. Jason rubs a hand over his face. Gods. Okay, tell me the whole story. I'm trying, you keep interrupting me. Jason gives him a look, but mimes zipping his mouth shut anyway. Nico shakes his head. Part of him is still reluctant to waste all this time telling Jason about this, when, in a little under 24 hours, he won't remember. 4 days ago, but still today, I tried to kiss Will. It was after the campfire. He walked me back to my cabin, and I don't know. You know how I feel about Will, so and he stepped away, ran back to the infirmary. But that doesn't make sense. I thought for sure. Yeah, well, Nico says, trying not to sound too bitter. Looks like we were both wrong. So that happened, and you decided to split? He grimaces. Nothing he says here will make sense to Jason. Not to Jason Grace, Predator, Golden Boy, Superman, hero. It wasn't just that. I don't know. Lately, there's been this voice in my head that keeps whispering all the old things, that I don't belong, that I never will, He finds himself unable to look Jason in the eye. He plays with the fraying threads on the comforter, and then this whole thing with Will. He finds himself unable to finish this thought aloud. He's too embarrassed. He thinks Jason probably knows what he means, though. Anyway, I was intercepted by everyone's favourite goddess, Aphrodite. Jason makes a face. Except this time, she was accompanied by Carius. Jason's eyebrows knit together. Who? He's the son of Zeus. Jason groans. Of course he is. They always are. I don't know his Roman equivalent. I don't know if he has one even. He's the god of opportunity. Apparently, he also has some control over time. Kairos, he called it. Time made of moments. Some shit like that. Aphrodite muttered something about taking a personal interest in me. Lucky you. Yes, I'm thrilled. And then they reset the day. I don't know how, and I've had to go through this bullshit like 4 times or something. It's hard to keep track. I think it's been 4 since the original, so 5 in total. 3 captured the flags, 3 times you greeted me, subdued. Jason laughs. I went around the world. I went to the fucking Underworld. Nothing stops it. Does your dad know? Nico nods. He's the only one. The same people are dying every day, but he's the only one who's noticed, he says. I guess even the gods get used to routine. And that's pretty much where I am now. Jason whistles. Shit. How many times have you told me this? This is only the first time. Jason thinks for a bit. It's got to have something to do with love. What does? Whatever Aphrodite wants you to do to break the cycle. I mean, she's the goddess of love. She wants you to find a reason to stay at camp. It's got to be love. It's kind of her MO. Love with who? There's no one. He trails off. Jason shrugs. I don't know, but with Aphrodite, it can't be anything else. So what? Aphrodite wants me to pick another guy and fall in love with him? And she's going to hold me hostage until I do? That doesn't make sense. How am I supposed to do that when he wouldn't even remember the next day? They're gods. They don't make sense. Nico groans. Jason looks at him in sympathy. Have you talked to Chiron? He shakes his head. What's he going to do? My father had no ideas, and telling Chiron would involve telling him why I was trying to run away, and I'm not exactly eager to explain. You think it's something he hasn't heard before? He's 3,000 years old. He's Greek. Yes, I keep being told that. Jason leans back on his hands. So, what are you going to do? I don't fucking know. I need time to think, figure out if this is really what I need to do. If Aphrodite is forcing me to get over Will, it just doesn't seem like a very Aphrodite thing to do. Exactly. Maybe you should talk to Annabeth. Aphrodite took a special interest in her and Percy, remember? Nico makes a face. I guess. Sensing his reluctance, Jason presses. If anyone is going to have an idea, it'll be Annabeth. He thinks about this. I guess, I don't know, I'm not too eager to tell a lot of people when tomorrow I won't have told anybody at all. Think about it, at least. Piper too. You have people who can help you, you know? I know, Jason. Do you? Nico rolls his eyes. It had nothing to do with that. You not feeling like you belong definitely has to do with your friends. Can we talk about this later? I won't remember this tomorrow, and who's to say you'll tell me again? Jason knows him far too well. We have all of today, okay? I just need to think. I haven't really thought. Just ran. Jason looks deeply mistrustful. I mean it. I need to just go over my options. There has to be something else. Jason narrows his eyes, but eventually he nods in defeat. Fine, but we will be talking about this later. Fine, later. Jason stands up and shoots him another mistrustful glare. Nico rolls his eyes. Go, Jason. Go get ready for capture the flag. Percy's on our team. His prank war with Piper came at the expense of Annabeth. Jason laughs. I knew that was going to get him in trouble. Hey, what happens at capture the flag? You and Percy get the flag so quickly that the other team gets mad, and Chiron says he has to reevaluate the teams and powers and stuff. So we should slow down? I'm skipping this one. Tell them I'm sick. Chiron will send a medic. Chiron will send Will. I can handle Will. Nico, go. I need to think. He doesn't know what Jason is going to say about Will, but he knows he doesn't want to hear it. Jason gives him a look, but doesn't press the subject. After capture the flag, we'll discuss this more. Fine. Jason finally leaves. He likely doesn't have much time before Will is sent. Generally speaking, the only reason they were supposed to miss capture the flag was if they were on their deathbed. That means he has to come up with an adequate excuse to get him out of it, as well as think about what the fuck he's supposed to do about this current situation. He's getting more and more desperate the more he thinks about it. He knows he should listen to Jason, should tell Chiron, Annabeth, Piper, ask them for their help, but something is holding him back. Part of it is some instinct, cowardly as it is, to run away and bury his head in the sand. But that isn't really going to be much help. Some aspect of it is the looming thought that he will have to tell everybody this over and over again if he wants help over multiple days. But he admits, as he sees a flash of blonde, the main reason he's so hesitant is because you'd better be dying in there. Your concern is heartwarming, Solace, truly. Will storms in, blue eyes quickly appraising Nico to ensure he has all his limbs. He grabs Nico's wrist and locates his pulse. You might want to treat your patients a bit nicer, you know? Will grins crookedly at him. Truthfully, the main reason he is so hesitant is because he doesn't want to get over Will. Oh, that was fun. Honestly, I get that. Obviously, I know. I'd searched up specifically so Langelo went, so I know they're meant to end up together. But, love, why would Aphrodite tell him to get over and not just work it out with Will? Keep in mind, Will didn't actually reject him. He just ran away, which honestly, if you have a crush on someone and then you guys kiss, you might run away out of panic. I don't know. when is Nico gonna just brute force it and try again? Maybe this time. Who knows? He's gonna be stuck with Will in his cabin for a little while, so who knows? Anyway, thanks for listening.